What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and earlier today we talked about the possibilities of World War III, which in my opinion, we're living in the middle of World War III right now. And we also talked about the likelihood of a nuclear weapon being used in this day and age. I think a lot of people just automatically assume that that would never happen, that the world powers, the people running this world, they wouldn't want that to happen. It would be too destructive. Well, I disagree. And I think we are on the verge of a nuclear conflict. And I'm not trying to scare anyone here. I'm not trying to fearmonger like the mainstream media does. But I have to be honest with my viewers. And I can honestly tell you all that the situation is even worse than I thought. Because not only is there a submarine missing, a freaking Russian nuclear submarine is missing. On board of that submarine are freaking Poseidon nuclear warheads, which cause it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But when you launch this weapon, it causes a tsunami, a radioactive tsunami. Upwards of waves that are almost 2,000 feet high will crash into your city, literally putting everything underwater, under nuclear radioactive water. Well, that is literally out here somewhere in the ocean, somewhere around our world right now. Our military doesn't even know. Okay? Russia decided to take off from the Arctic Circle, and this submarine is God knows where right now, carrying these weapons. But not just that. It has now been reported that a Russian convoy, which is carrying nuclear equipment, matter of fact, it's like a whole freaking nuclear garrison, like a freaking troop of nuclear officials. They are on a train heading to the border of Ukraine as we speak. Let's go ahead and hop in and get some more information. A Russian convoy transporting equipment for Russia's nuclear weapons program has sparked fears that Vladimir Putin could be preparing a test to send a signal to the West. A train operated by the Secretive Nuclear Division and linked to the 12th Main Directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense was spotted in central Russia over the weekend, heading towards the front line of Ukraine. The pro-Russian Telegram channel, Rybar, shared the footage showing the large freight convoy hauling upgraded armored personnel carriers and other equipment. Konrad Moska, I'm probably saying his name wrong, a defense analyst specializing in Ukraine, said the 12th Directorate operated a dozen central storage facilities for nuclear weapons. This is actually a kit belonging to the 12th Main Directorate of the Russian MOD, the Poland-based analyst said. The directorate is responsible for nuclear munitions, their storage, maintenance, transport, and issuance to units. So what we're seeing right now is this whole nuclear unit is freaking heading to the front lines of Ukraine. Right after Putin basically warned that he's not against using nuclear weapons on Ukraine. And it seems like everyone is walking around pretending like, oh, we don't have to worry about that because we've lived in a world of threats for so long. We got Kim Jong-un over North Korea constantly threatening things. Russia has been threatening Ukraine for years. There's this mentality of it won't happen. There's this mentality of, oh, it's just talk. I don't know about you all, but when I pay attention to the current climate of things, I really don't think it's just talk anymore. I don't think Putin is going to lose this war. Meaning that if he doesn't win this war, even if he doesn't win this war, he's going to find a way not to lose it. If you think for 1 second that Putin is going to gracefully walk away from the battlefield after half of the world supplied Ukraine with unlimited money and weapons, then you're crazy. He's not going to walk away. I don't think his pride would allow it. I don't think Putin would allow himself to face that defeat. I think Putin may just wipe out the entire world before doing that. But I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. And hopefully I am wrong. But I don't think I am wrong. Now, Mr. Musk goes on to say that he could be signaling to the West that Moscow is escalating. However, he stressed that the video in no way shows preparations for an actual nuclear release yet. Right now, they're just transporting the weapons to where they could be used. A senior Western official sought to play down the threat of an imminent nuclear strike, saying that there are no indicators of further concerning movements. But this is the type of things they've been saying. Remember, Ukraine was just saying that they weren't concerned about all the movement of troops happening in Russia, and then a week later, Russia is invading them. So, oftentimes when we see these people, they wouldn't do their... That's just posturing. These people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're all bluffing. One thing I've had to realize from geopolitics, whatever the hell people like to call it, I don't even care. It's like one big poker game where the world leaders, they're all sitting at a table. They have various different hands dealt to them, some hands better than others, but they're all bluffing. And they're all trying to pull other people's cards. They're all sitting around a table with shades on, not allowing people to look in their eyes. But there's going to come a point where the bluffing, it's over. There's going to come a point where someone does something, where someone makes the move. And what's been happening for years is there's this thing called mutually assured destruction. And that's what most people believe is stopping us from going into a full-out nuclear war. Mutually assured destruction. Meaning that, okay, sure, I could use a nuclear weapon on you, but then you would use a nuclear weapon on me. And at the end of the day, both of us would be destroyed, therefore neither one of us win. So that's what's been stopping, or at least that's what people believe, has been stopping people from pushing that button for years. Knowing that, okay, if I push that button, they're going to push buttons too, and we're all going to be wiped out. And if we're all wiped out, then there's nothing to gain. But here's my way of thinking. Here's my thing. If we believe that mutually assured destruction is real, then isn't there a possibility that someone does use a nuclear weapon? And instead of the other side pushing a button and using nuclear weapons as well, maybe that side will bend the knee. Maybe that side will bow down and allow to, maybe peace talks, anything. Think about it. If a nuclear missile was launched right now and it wiped out half the population of the U.S., I don't think that's going to happen. Let's just say it did. Would it be more beneficial for, let's say, the U.S. to, all right, let's send a bunch of nukes to Russia and wipe them out, and then Russia's going to send more over here? Or would it be more beneficial to be like, they just used a freaking nuclear bomb, they just wiped out all of these people, maybe we need to chill out? I know there's all this talk of mutually assured destruction, but I feel like there's a possibility of whoever pushes the button first wins. Or at the very least, whoever pushes the button first gets what they want for now. Really think about that. The whole thought process behind mutually assured destruction is thinking that, okay, well, if you're going to destroy me, then I would destroy you. Therefore, we're both destroyed, right? It's mutual thing. Like, all right, let's not destroy them because they can destroy us. But if you use that same way of thinking and really think about it, then if someone presses the button first, then instead of assuring your destruction even further, maybe you could make a different move and maybe you could bow down. Maybe you could give someone what they're asking for. Maybe you could allow someone to take this portion of land or that portion of land in exchange for not having to just blow each other all the way off the map. So I think there's a possibility that mutually assured destruction is bogus and that whoever pulls the trigger first may just be the winner. But of course, that's just one way of thinking. I'm not trying to tell you that's the right way of thinking, but I think it's something that we should ponder over maybe a little bit more. But there's no mistaking the fact that this equipment is being moved around. And to ignore it and to act like it's not a problem, it's not an issue, is a major problem. Because that's what happened for months as Russia was building up troops on Ukraine's border. Ukraine could have been, I'm not saying that they ever would have been prepared for this invasion, but they could have been way more prepared if they took the threat, or if they took the threat seriously. And even over here in America, we were warning Ukraine for like the last couple of weeks before invasion that an invasion was coming. But for months before that, we were trying to ignore all of these movements that were happening in Russia. And you could see trains just filled with armored convoys heading towards Ukraine. You could see literally armored convoys driving down the road headed to Ukraine. For months on end, they were building up troops on the border. They were setting up command centers, medical tents. And if you start seeing medical tents, that's when you really need to worry, because that lets you know that they're planning on a real conflict. We started seeing like blood be shipped to the border for injuries. And it was something that people ignored because, oh, it's just bluffs. They're just talk. And then it happened. And I don't want that to happen here again. We have a nuclear weapon somewhere out here missing in the middle of the ocean, attached to a nuclear submarine that we can't find. And now we know that Russia is transferring its nuclear weapons units to the front line of Ukraine, which doesn't mean that they're getting ready to necessarily use those weapons, but they are distributing those weapons and they are placing those weapons where they want them to be if they do choose to use them. So right now, we are closer than ever to a freaking nuclear catastrophe. And I am hoping that it doesn't happen. But if things continue the way that they are, if things continue playing out like this, it's going to happen, folks. Mark my words. Hopefully it doesn't. But if things don't change, if agreements aren't made, I'm telling you right now, I don't see Russia backing down. I don't see Putin backing down. I don't see America backing down. We just pledged hundreds of millions of more dollars worth of military equipment to send to Ukraine today. So who knows where this is going to go? But at the end of the day, you want to know who loses? All of us. We're the losers here. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.